The awakening stone burned white. I couldn't breathe. The entire courtyard of the Fong clan, 300 people, warriors, elders, servants, went dead silent. Because the beast that materialized above the stone wasn't a wolf. It wasn't a hawk. It wasn't even an A-rank serpent. It was a dragon. A shimmering crimson dragon, no bigger than my forearm, coiled in the air above the awakening stone and opened its eyes. Gold. Burning gold. The temperature in the courtyard rose 10 degrees in an instant. My name is Run. I was 17 years old, and I had just awakened the first dragon seen in the Fong clan in 400 years. Elder Hao's teacup slipped from his fingers and shattered on the stone floor. Nobody looked at it. Every eye in the courtyard was locked on me. Crimson Ember Drake, Elder Hao whispered. His voice cracked. Grade. Legendary. Legendary. The highest natural grade. In a clan where most tamers awaken uncommon wolves or rare hawks, I had pulled a legendary dragon from the awakening stone. My older brother Kiran was standing 20 feet away. I saw his face change. The confident smile melted. His eyes went flat. His jaw tightened. Kiran had awakened an A-rank Storm Falcon 2 years ago. It was the pride of the clan. He was the golden child, the heir, the future clan leader. Every elder adored him. Every resource went to him. And in 1 second, my little crimson dragon made his Storm Falcon look like a pet bird. The courtyard erupted. Tamers were shouting, pointing, pushing forward to get a closer look. The dragon floated down and landed on my shoulder. Its claws gripped my shirt. Its tiny head pressed against my neck. Warm. I reached up and touched its scales. It purred. It actually purred, like a cat made of fire. This changes everything, one of the junior elders said. The continental tournament is in 8 months. If the boy raises this dragon properly. He won't. Everyone turned. Kiran was walking toward me. His Storm Falcon perched on his gauntlet, feathers bristling. His smile was back, but it wasn't the same smile. This one had teeth. The Crimson Ember Drake requires a tamer with at least 5 years of bonding experience, Kiran said smoothly. Ran has 0. He'll stunt its growth. He'll waste its potential. The clan cannot afford to gamble a legendary beast on a novice. Elder Hao stroked his beard. I saw the calculation in his eyes. He'd always favored Kiran. Always. The boy raises a fair point, Elder Hao said slowly. My blood went cold. I awakened it, I said. The bond is mine. That's the law. The law also states that clan resources must serve the clan's interests, Elder Hao cut me off. And the clan's interest is clear. Kiran has the experience. Kiran has the training. Kiran will raise the dragon. I looked around the courtyard. 300 people. Not one of them spoke up. My mother was dead. My father had vanished when I was 6. I had no allies. No faction. No one. Kiran walked up to me and held out his hand. Give me the dragon, little brother. It's for the best. The crimson drake hissed at Kiran. It pressed tighter against my neck. It didn't want to go. But 2 senior tamers grabbed my arms. A third pried the dragon off my shoulder. It shrieked a high, desperate sound that I will never forget. Its claws left scratches on my collarbone as they pulled it away. Kiran took the dragon. It snapped at his fingers. He didn't care. He was already smiling for the crowd. Furthermore, Elder Hao announced, since Ren has failed to demonstrate the capacity to raise his awakened beast, his tamer status is revoked. He is expelled from the inner clan and reassigned to servant quarters. Just like that. In 60 seconds, I went from the most celebrated tamer in clan history to nothing. They took everything. My room. My training access. My meals at the main hall. I was moved to a storage closet in the east wing with a straw mat on the floor. That night, lying in the dark, I heard my dragon crying somewhere in the main compound. A thin, keening wail. Calling for me. I pressed my hand against the wall and made a promise. I would get stronger. I would get my dragon back. And everyone who stood there and watched every single one of them would regret it. 3 days after they took my dragon, I found the reject pit. Every clan has one. It's where they dump the beasts that nobody wants, the ones too weak, too ugly, too useless to bother training. Injured beasts. Defective beasts. Beasts with broken cores that would never evolve past grade F. The Fong clan's reject pit was a fenced-off area behind the stables. 20 cages. Most of them held dying creatures. A 3-legged wolf. A hawk with no feathers on one wing. A stone tortoise with a cracked shell. And in the last cage, the smallest cage, there was a slime. It was the size of my fist. Translucent. Pale blue. It sat in the corner of its cage like a blob of gelatin, barely moving. A handwritten tag on the cage read, Grade F Core Slime. No combat ability. No evolution path detected. Scheduled for disposal. Disposal. They were going to kill it because it was useless. I opened the cage. The slime actually flinched away from my hand. Someone had been poking it. I could see the dents. Hey, I said. I know how you feel. I held out my palm. The slime trembled. Then, slowly, it oozed toward my hand and climbed on. It was warm. Like my dragon had been. The bonding notification appeared in my mind. Every tamer sees it, a system window that confirms the soul bond between tamer and beast. Beast, Core Slime. Grade, F. Name, unassigned. Skills, absorb, passive, absorbs trace nutrients from environment. Evolution, none detected. Grade F. 1 passive skill. No evolution. I named it Miru. The servants laughed. Word spread through the clan in hours. Ren the Dragon Boy is now Ren the Slime Tamer. They said it at meals. They said it in the hallways. Kirin heard and laughed so hard he choked on his wine. I didn't care. Because I'd noticed something the system hadn't flagged. When Miru sat on my hand, it was warm. Slimes aren't warm. Slimes are room temperature. Always. That's basic beast biology. Something was different about this one. I started training with Miru in secret. Every morning before dawn, I'd take it to the abandoned training yard behind the east wing. I feeded beast cores, tiny, worthless F-grade cores that I stole from the reject pile. The first core Miru absorbed was from the three-legged wolf. I placed the core on the ground. Miru oozed over it. The core dissolved. Miru's body pulsed once. And then a new skill appeared. I stared at the notification. Miru had copied a skill from the beast core. That wasn't absorb. Absorb was supposed to just process nutrients. This was something else entirely. Miru wasn't just eating the cores. It was learning from them. I fed it another core. This one from a dead fire beetle. Miru absorbed it. Pulsed. 2 skills from 2 cores. Both copied from the donor beasts. My hands were shaking. I ran back to the records hall. I still had access to the public library, they hadn't taken that away, and I searched for hours. Core slimes. Absorption evolution. Skill copying. Nothing. No records. No documentation. No precedent. Whatever Miru could do, it wasn't in any textbook. The system itself hadn't detected it at bonding. The skill was hidden. I fed Miru a third core. A Windhawk core. 3 skills. 3 different beast types. Every core it absorbed, it gained a new ability. And then I noticed something else. Miru's body had changed. It was slightly bigger. Less translucent. There was a faint blue glow at its center, a light that hadn't been there before. I checked the system again. F to F+. And the evolution field had changed from none detected to question marks. Miru was evolving. Slowly, silently, in a way the system couldn't predict. I sat in the dark training yard with a glowing slime on my shoulder and I smiled for the first time in 3 days. They wanted to make me nothing? Fine. I'd build something from nothing. Over the next 3 months, I fed Miru every beast core I could find. I raided the reject pile every night. I bought cheap cores from the market stalls in town with the pittance they paid me for servant work. I even snuck into the mid-tier beast pens and collected shed scales, broken claws, and dropped feathers, anything that held residual beast energy. Miru absorbed everything. And with every core, it grew. After 20 cores, Miru evolved for the first time. Miru could change shape. Not perfectly, it still had a gelatinous quality, but it could form limbs. Claws. A rough approximation of wings. For 60 seconds at a time. After 40 cores, it evolved again. Now Miru could merge abilities. I combined Ember Touch and Gust Burst. The result was Flame Jet, a concentrated stream of fire propelled by compressed wind. A C-rank combat skill from 2 F-rank abilities. Miru was breaking the rules of beast evolution. Every tamer in the world knew that beasts followed fixed paths. A wolf evolved into a dire wolf, then a storm wolf, then maybe if you were incredibly lucky a mythic Fenrir. The path was set. You couldn't deviate. But Miru didn't have a path. It was building its own. Meanwhile, Kirin was parading my dragon around the clan like a trophy. He'd named it Ignis. He fed it premium cores. He trained it with the best instructors. But I noticed something during the few times I caught a glimpse of Ignis in the training yards. The dragon wasn't thriving. Its scales were dull. Its movements were sluggish. It wasn't eating well. Because Ignis was still bonded to me. A force transfer could move a beast physically, but the soul bond? That doesn't transfer. Kirin was training a dragon that didn't want to be his. He was too arrogant to notice. By month 4, Miru had absorbed 63 cores and held 19 skills. Its grade had climbed to C. It could maintain a full wolf form for 5 minutes, a hawk form for 3, and its flame jet could melt steel. I was training in the abandoned yard one night when a voice spoke from the shadows. You're not as stupid as they think you are. I spun around. A girl stepped out from behind a pillar. She was my age. Dark hair cut short. Sharp eyes. She wore the insignia of the Lin clan, a rival family. Sora Lin, she said. I've been watching you for 2 weeks. My guard went up instantly. Why? Because you've been sneaking into the reject yard every night, feeding your slime cores, and training alone in the dark. Either you're insane or you found something nobody else has. She tilted her head. I'm betting on the second one. What do you want? She pulled a pouch from her belt and tossed it to me. I caught it. Inside were 12 beast cores. Not F grade. Not even D grade. These were B rank cores: tiger, serpent, iron bear. Each one worth more than I'd earn in a year of servant work. I want to see what your slime can really do, Sora said. I fed Miru the B rank tiger core that night. And then, something new. 5 more. And then Miru would evolve again. Sora kept coming back. She brought cores. I trained Miru. We didn't talk much at first. She watched. She asked questions. She was smarter than anyone in my clan, honestly. One night she asked, "Are you entering the Continental Tournament?" The Continental Beast Tournament. The biggest competition in the world. Every clan sent their best tamer and their strongest beast. The winner received resources, fame, and most importantly, a wish from the Beast Council. Any wish. Any reward. My clan expelled me, I said. I can't enter under their banner. You can enter as an independent, Sora said. No clan affiliation required. You just need a registered beast bond. I looked at Miru, who was currently in the shape of a small wolf, gnawing on a practice dummy. An independent nobody with a grade C slime, entering a tournament full of SSS rank beasts and elite clan tamers. It was insane. I'm in, I said. Sora smiled. It was the first time I'd seen her smile. Over the next 2 months, Sora funneled me cores from every source she could find. Rare ones. Exotic ones. Each one pushed Miru closer to its next evolution. Core 78. A-rank Storm Serpent. Miru could now combine forms. Wolf claws with hawk wings. Serpent scales with tiger strength. It wasn't mimicking beasts anymore. It was becoming something that had never existed. I looked at the system window and saw something at the bottom I hadn't noticed before. Primordial Vessel. I'd read about primordials in the oldest texts in the library. They were the first beasts, the ones that existed before the grade system, before tamers, before civilization. There were only 5 in recorded history. None had been seen in 10,000 years. Miru wasn't just copying beasts. It was building towards something ancient. Registration Day. The Continental Tournament grounds were massive, a complex the size of a small city, built around a central arena that could seat 100,000 spectators. I registered as an independent. No clan. No banner. Just my name, Rin. The clerk looked at my registration form. Beast? Chimera Core, I said. She typed it in. Grade? B. She looked up. Then she looked at the tournament bracket on her screen. You know most entrants are A rank or higher, right? There are 12 SSS rank beasts in this tournament. I know. She shrugged and stamped my form. The opening ceremony was overwhelming. Banners from every major clan. Thousands of tamers. The crowd was enormous. Massive screens showed the bracket, 64 entrants, single elimination. And there, in the upper bracket, I saw Kirin's name. Representing the Phone Clan. His beast listed as Crimson Ember Drake, Grade S. My dragon. Grade S already. Kirin had force-fed it resources, pushed its grade up through sheer expenditure. But I knew the truth. An unbonded dragon at grade S was weaker than a properly bonded one at grade A. My first match was against a tamer from the Iron Mountain sect. His beast was an A-rank granite golem. 8 feet tall. Skin like solid rock. The crowd expected a slaughter in his favor. I sent Miru out. In its base form. A fist-sized blue slime. The arena went quiet. Then people started laughing. The commentator actually said, well, this should be quick. The granite golem charged. 8 tons of living stone, fist raised. Multiform, I said quietly. Miru shifted. In 1 second, it went from a blob to something terrifying, a wolf-shaped creature with iron scales, storm serpent coils around its limbs, and hawk wings that crackled with lightning. Its eyes burned gold. The crowd stopped laughing. Predator surge, I commanded. Flame jet. Miru blurred forward. The golem's fist came down and hit nothing. Miru was already behind it. A concentrated stream of fire hit the golem's back, the one spot where granite beasts have thinner plating. The golem roared. It spun. But Miru was faster. It shifted again, smaller, serpent form, sliding between the golem's legs. Then it expanded, bear form, iron claws, and ripped a chunk of stone from the golem's knee joint. The golem toppled. Miru landed on its chest and pressed one glowing claw against its core. Yield, I called to the opposing tamer. He yielded. Match time, 43 seconds. The arena was silent for a full 5 seconds. Then it exploded. What was that? The commentator screamed. The independent tamer has just defeated an A-rank granite golem with I'm not even sure what his beast is. Round 2. A-rank twin fong viper. I won in 30 seconds. Miru didn't even need multiform, just predator surge and a single flame jet to the viper's nerve cluster. Round 3. S-rank thunder lion, from the prestigious Shan clan. This one was harder. The thunder lion was fast, brutal, and its lightning attacks could paralyze on contact. Miru took a hit. A bolt of lightning caught its left side. It stumbled. I saw its form flicker. Core resonance, I said. Iron scales. Serpent coil. Miru's body hardened. The scales I'd absorbed from a B-rank iron serpent formed a shell of conductive metal, but instead of grounding the lightning, Miru absorbed it. The electricity crackled across its surface and then fed back into its core. Miru had just copied the Thunder Lion's primary ability in the middle of the fight. The Thunder Lion's tamer went white. That's impossible. Miru unleashed the stored lightning combined with flame jet. A bolt of electrified fire. The Thunder Lion went down. Match time, 2 minutes, 18 seconds. I was in the quarterfinals. And the entire tournament was buzzing. Who is this guy? That was the question on every screen, every feed, every conversation. An independent nobody with a beast nobody could classify. The commentators were calling Miru the anomaly. In the stands, I could see Kirin watching. He wasn't smiling. Good. The quarterfinals matched me against Yuki Sato, a prodigy from the Eastern Frost clan. Her beast was an S-rank glacier phoenix, a bird of ice and wind that could freeze the air in a 50-meter radius. This was the first fight where I was genuinely worried. The arena temperature dropped the moment the phoenix took flight. Frost spread across the ground. My breath came out in white clouds. The crowd could see ice forming on the barrier walls. Miru, I said. Full form. Miru shifted into its most complete chimera shape, the wolf-hawk serpent bear hybrid that had terrified the crowd earlier. But this time, I layered in every fire-type skill it had, Ember Touch, Flame Jet, and the synthesized fire aura from a B-rank Phoenix Coursera had found me. Miru's body ignited. Flames licked across its scales. The ice beneath its feet melted instantly. Fire versus ice. The most classic matchup. The Glacier Phoenix Dove. It released a blizzard shriek, a concentrated sonic blast infused with sub-zero energy. The temperature hit -30. Miru fired back with everything. Flame jet. Lightning absorption discharge. Fire aura at maximum output. The center of the arena became a wall of steam. Fire and ice collided and neither side gave ground. This went on for 4 minutes. The longest fight of the tournament. The crowd was on their feet. I was burning through Miru's energy reserves. I could feel it through the bond, the strain, the fatigue. Miru was strong, but the Phoenix was an S-rank specialist. It was designed for exactly this kind of sustained combat. I needed to change the approach. Miru. Drop the fire. Go dark. Miru's flames went out. The phoenix's ice rushed forward. For one terrifying second, the audience thought I'd given up. But Miru had shifted. Not into a combat form, into the smallest shape it could manage. A tiny, almost invisible blob, barely bigger than a marble. It dropped through the steam cloud and hit the frozen ground. The phoenix couldn't see it. It kept blasting ice at the spot where Miru had been standing. Absorb, I whispered. Miru pressed itself against the frozen ground and started absorbing the ice energy. Not the ice, the energy driving it. The cold essence the phoenix was channeling into the arena. Miru had just copied the glacier phoenix's primary element. When Miru reformed, now with both fire and ice running through its body, the phoenix didn't stand a chance. You can't fight an enemy that uses your own power better than you do. Miru hit the phoenix with a combined fire-ice spiral that created a thermal shock wave. The phoenix's wings shattered like glass. It crashed to the ground. Match. Ren advances to the semifinals. The roar from the crowd was deafening. Even Yuki Sato, brushing frost from her clothes, gave me a nod of respect. But backstage, something else was happening. I was heading to the recovery area when I turned a corner and walked straight into Kirin. He had 6 Phone Clan guards behind him. "Interesting beast you've got," Kirin said. His voice was calm but his eyes weren't. "Where did you get those cores?" "Because I know for a fact that a servant doesn't have the resources to raise a B-rank beast, let alone whatever that thing is. I earned them." "You stole them." "From the clan stores, I'd bet." He turned to the guards. "Seize him. We'll file a formal complaint with the tournament committee." But before the guards could move, a voice rang out across the corridor. "Touch him and the Lin clan files a counter-complaint for harassment of an independent competitor." Sora stepped out from a side passage. Behind her were 4 Lin clan officers. All armed. Kirin's guards hesitated. "You have no jurisdiction here," Sora said coolly. "This is tournament-neutral ground. The Phone Clan's internal politics don't apply." Kirin's jaw tightened. He looked at me. Then at Sora. Then back at me. "This isn't over," he said. "It never was," I replied. He left. The guards followed. Sora looked at me. "You okay?" "Yeah. Thanks." She handed me a pouch. Inside were 5 cores. All A rank. One of them was from a beast I'd never seen before. It shimmered with a dark, ancient energy. "Shadow Basilisk Core," she said. "Extinct species. I found it in a collector's vault. It cost me everything I had." I stared at her. "Sora, I can't take." "You're going to need it for the semi-finals," she said. "The bracket has you facing the number 2 seed. His beast is SSS rank." SSS rank. The highest grade in the system. I looked at the Shadow Basilisk core in my hand. It pulsed with dark energy. "Feed it to Miru," Sora said. "And see what happens." I fed Miru the Shadow Basilisk core that night. The reaction was immediate. Miru's body convulsed. Its form destabilized, shifting rapidly between every shape it had ever taken. Wolf. Hawk. Serpent. Bear. Phoenix. Golem fragments. Lightning arcs. Ice crystals. All of them, simultaneously, cycling through like a broken hologram. Then it went dark. Miru collapsed into a dense black sphere, no bigger than a baseball. It was hot to the touch. Pulsing. The system exploded with notifications. The sphere cracked. Light poured out, not white light, not gold. Dark light. Like looking at a star that burned black instead of white. Miru reformed. It was no longer a blob. No longer a shifting chimera. It had taken a permanent form. It looked like a dragon. But not like any dragon in any textbook. Its body was sleek, covered in iridescent scales that shifted between black, blue, and violet. 6 eyes, arranged in 2 rows of 3, each burning with a different colored gold, silver, crimson. Wings like stained glass. A tail that ended in a cluster of crystalline spines. It was beautiful. And terrifying. SS rank. And the final evolution needed a legendary beast core. There was only one legendary beast I knew of. And it was in Kirin's possession. The semi-final match was against Daisuke Mori, the number 2 seed. His beast was an SSS rank war titan, a 15-foot humanoid beast encased in living armor. It had won every match in under a minute. Nobody had even scratched it. The arena was packed beyond capacity. Every major clan leader was watching. Every screen in the country was broadcasting live. When I walked onto the field, the commentator said my name and the crowd went insane. The anomaly had become the tournament's biggest story. Miru materialized beside me in its new form. The Primordial Devourer. 6 eyes blazing. Wings spread. The temperature in the arena shifted. The War Titan was already in the arena. 15 feet of armored muscle. Its tamer, Daisuke, stood behind it with his arms crossed. Confident. The horn sounded. The War Titan charged. Each step cracked the arena floor. It was fast for its size, terrifyingly fast. Primordial aura, I said. Miru's eyes all flared at once. A wave of dark energy pulsed outward. The War Titan stumbled. Its movements slowed. Its armor dimmed. Daisuke's expression changed from confidence to confusion. What? He started. Your beast just lost 50% of its power, I said. Every skill, every stat, cut in half within 30 meters of mine. The crowd gasped. The War Titan roared and threw a punch that should have leveled a building. Miru didn't dodge. It caught the fist. One claw against 15 feet of Titan. And held it. The ground beneath Miru's feet cratered. But it didn't move. Its 6 eyes locked onto the Titan. Devour, I commanded. Miru's claw began to glow. Dark energy flowed from the point of contact. The War Titan screamed a mechanical, grinding shriek. Its armor started dissolving at the edges. Daisuke's face went white. Recall. I recall my beast. But it was too late. Miru had already absorbed 3 of the Titan's skills. The War Titan's armor crumbled. Underneath, it was just a large unarmored beast, confused, weakened, stripped of its primary abilities. Miru released it. The Titan collapsed. Match time, 1 minute, 11 seconds. The arena was so quiet you could hear the dust settling. Then the commentator's voice cracked through the speakers. Ladies and gentlemen. Ren advances to the finals. I was going to face whoever won the other semi-final. And I already knew who that would be. Kirin won his semi-final easily. Ignis had grown S-rank, powerful, covered in crimson scales. But I could see it through the broadcast. The dragon's eyes were dull. Its fire was hot but wild, unfocused. It fought hard because Kirin commanded it, not because it wanted to. The final was scheduled for the next day. The biggest match in the Continental Tournament's history. The Unknown Independent versus the Phone Clan heir. That night, Sora found me in the competitor quarters. How are you feeling? She asked. Ready. She sat down beside me. You know what happens if you win, right? The wish. You can ask the Beast Council for anything. I know. What will you ask for? I looked at her. I'll ask them to dissolve the Phone Clan's forced beast transfer. Every beast they've taken from a tamer against their will gets returned to the original bond. Sora was quiet for a moment. That's not just about your dragon. No. It's about everyone they've done this to. She nodded. Then she did something unexpected. She reached over and squeezed my hand. Just for a second. Win, she said. The arena the next day held 112,000 people. Standing room only. Every screen in every city across the continent was broadcasting. The commentators called it the match of the decade. Kirin and I walked onto the field from opposite ends. He looked at me. I looked at him. Last chance to withdraw, little brother, he called across the arena. Your blob won't save you. I didn't respond. The horn sounded. Ignis launched first. My dragon, my stolen dragon, unleashed a torrent of crimson fire across the arena. The heat was immense. The barrier walls glowed orange. Miru rose into the air. 6 wings spread. It countered with frost core, creating a wall of ice that absorbed the fire and turned it to steam. Ignis flew higher. Kirin was shouting commands, the aggressive, demanding style he'd always used. Burn it. Dragon roar. Maximum output. The dragon obeyed. But reluctantly. I could feel it through my original bond. The dragon was tired, confused, fighting against a connection that wasn't right. Miru engaged. The two beasts collided in midair, Primordial Devourer versus Crimson Ember Drake. Scales clashing, fire and dark energy erupting, the arena shaking. They were evenly matched. Kirin had pumped Ignis full of resources. Its raw power at S rank was enormous. But Miru had something Ignis didn't: adaptability. Every time Ignis used a new attack, Miru analyzed it, countered it, and absorbed fragments of the technique. The fight went on for 8 minutes. The longest in tournament history. Then Ignis made a mistake. It dove at Miru with a dragon charge, a full-speed aerial tackle. But Miru sidestepped and caught Ignis by the tail. Devour, I said. The dark energy flowed. Ignis screamed. Not the battle scream of a fighting dragon, a different scream. A scream I recognized. The same scream it had made when they pulled it off my shoulder. Ignis was calling for me. Through the pain and the confusion and the forced bond with Kirin, my dragon was calling for its real tamer. I felt the connection surge. The original soul bond, the one they'd tried to sever, flared to life. Ignis's eyes cleared. For the first time in months, the gold was bright again. Kirin felt it too. He felt the bond slipping. No! Ignis, obey me! Dragon roar! Ignis turned its head. It looked at Kirin. Then it looked at me. And it flew to my side. The crowd erupted. The commentators were screaming. Kirin was standing alone on his side of the field, hand outstretched, his beast gone. Ignis returned to its original tamer, the commentator shouted. The soul bond was never truly broken. The dragon has chosen Arien. Kirin's face was white. His fists clenched. He looked at me with pure hatred. You can't do this, he snarled. That dragon is clan property. That dragon is mine, I said. It always was. The referee stepped forward. The beast has voluntarily returned to its original bonded tamer. Under tournament rules, this constitutes a forfeit by the opposing side. The winner of the continental tournament is Arien. I stood in the center of the arena with Miru on one side and Ignis on the other. My stolen dragon returned. My impossible slime evolved into something primordial. And then I felt it. Through the bond with Ignis. A pulse. An offering. Ignis pressed its head against Miru. Willingly. Freely. The arena went white. When the light faded, Miru had changed for the last time. It was enormous, 30 feet from head to tail. Its body was pure crystalline darkness shot through with veins of gold. 8 wings, each one translucent, each one containing a different element: fire, ice, lightning, shadow, wind, earth, light, and something that had no name. Its 6 eyes had become 8, and each one burned like a small sun. Above its head, the system displayed a grade that had never been seen in the history of beast taming. Mythic. Above SSS. Above anything. The 112,000 people in the arena were silent. Not quiet, silent. Nobody breathed. The Beast Council, 5 ancient tamers who hadn't appeared publicly in decades, materialized in the VIP box. They looked at Miru. They looked at me. One of them was crying. The Primordial's return, the eldest said, his voice carrying through the arena. After 10,000 years. Kirin was on his knees in the arena. His hands on the ground. His storm falcon had retreated to his shoulder, trembling. Elder Hao, watching from the phone clan box, had gone gray. The Beast Council stepped down from the VIP box and walked across the arena floor to me. The eldest placed his hand on my shoulder. Champion, he said. You have earned the tournament wish. Name your desire. I looked up at the phone clan box. At Elder Hao's ashen face. At the row of elders who had watched them steal my dragon and said nothing. I wish for the dissolution of all forced beast transfers across every clan, I said. Every beast that was taken from its original tamer against their will is to be returned. Immediately. And the practice is banned permanently. The arena erupted. Not everyone was happy. I could see clan leaders in the stands going red with fury. But the crowd, the tamers, the people who had been victims of the same system that robbed me, they roared their approval. The eldest council member nodded. It is done. I turned and walked toward the exit. Miru floated beside me, its crystalline form casting prismatic light across the arena floor. Ignis walked on my other side, its scales finally bright, its eyes finally clear. Behind me, I heard Kirin's voice, raw and broken. Rin, wait. I didn't stop. At the exit tunnel, Sora was waiting. She was smiling. That real, rare smile. So, she said. What now? I looked at Miru. At Ignis. At the sky beyond the arena. Now we see what a mythic beast can really do. We walked out together. The crowd was still roaring behind us. And somewhere in the distance, I swear I heard Miru purr. Beast Tamer Episode 1: The Trash Slime That